Good morning and happy blessed Friday. I was thinking about children from the ages of 0 to 5, and particularly around a time in my life when I was pregnant. I think I was 20 going on 21. And my mom would tell me, "You better get that baby on a schedule." And I used to say, "It feels more like I'm getting on the baby schedule." But if I thought about it more deeply, I would think that if you have a child who sleeps during the day, then that means you'll be up at night. And somehow trying to wake the child up to stay up during the day so that at night you can rest well, both of you. And over time, if you're home with the baby, trying to get the baby on a schedule to where the baby takes a nap around a certain time, the baby eats around certain times, and then the weaning process of when the baby gets older and you're trying to um, have the baby drink less milk and put the baby on food, and or whenever you're weaning a baby off breast from breastfeeding, there's a process that happens of slowly replacing the breast with something else. And it's a painful process, but it's a process nonetheless. Nonetheless, the idea is to get the baby on a schedule or to get the baby used to something. And then I remember when I was potty training, when we were potty training our son, what it meant was that we had to get a schedule and take off the diaper and have a conversation about what we were doing, about being a big boy and going to the bathroom and using the toilet bowl. It was a whole process. And regardless of how old your child is or what process you're doing, whether you're trying to put the baby on a sleep schedule, trying to introduce the baby to food, trying to potty train a child, all of it takes consistency. And then it made me think about relationships and what would it take in relationships to build one that felt safe, one that felt solid, and one that you felt connected in and to. And it brings me back to the very same thing, consistency. And consistency is follow through. It could feel repetitive, but it's being consistent with your actions and your words. And I often say that love is an action. I like both. I like the words and I like action. In order to build, for me to feel safe, I need the consistency. I need to know that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. That doesn't mean that things don't happen. But when they do happen, here's where your emotional intelligence kicks in, and that is communicating and having a conversation, right? For example, that if you say, hey, let's go to dinner, but then you get to work and something happens at work and it kicks into the time that you said you were going to be able to do something, but you now realize that you can't do it. To me, it's simple, right? It's a matter of picking up the phone and saying, hey, so it looks like either there's a change of plans or it might not happen. But the reality is, in order to feel safe and connected, and that the person is being honest and true, that communication and consistency in communication is a must. And it makes me think about people who are in relationship with other people. And I've been in these kind of relationships where trust was broken because the consistency was there very strong in the very beginning, that very beginning time when people are trying to snag that person. They pretty much say and do what they think they need to in order to get the person. And then over time, I feel like it can be a sense of laziness. It could be a variety of things. But the reality is, if you want to break a relationship down, be inconsistent about it, don't communicate, all the opposites. If you want to make somebody feel unsafe, inconsistency can do that. Lack of communication can do that. And so who are the people in your life that you feel safe with because they're consistent? Um, were there relationships that you felt unsafe because over a period of time, the person stopped being consistent, stopped communicating, and stopped being honest about what was really happening? Um, and I get it that things happen, but regardless of what's happening, if you could just be straightforward and honest with people, I think that allows for a discussion to really talk about where things have gone or are going, where you were and where you are. And that's maturity. That is being adult. It's adulting. It's adulting in a way that allows both people or all parties who are in the relationship to have some say, to gain some clarity, and to communicate about what you want to do, what you hope to do, what you can't do, what you don't want to do, and that's honest. And that's just what I think builds safe relationships, whether you're going to continue it or not. Thank you for listening. I love you. Happy Blessed Friday.